VanEck's out with a wild idea today. They're suggesting the U.S. Treasury scoop up 1 million Bitcoin over the next 5 years to offset the national debt. Yeah, you heard that right. A mainstream financial outfit is pitching Bitcoin as a lifeline for Uncle Sam's balance sheet. The post from TFTC broke this earlier, and it's already got the maxi crowd buzzing, over 100 retweets and counting. Their logic's pretty straightforward. With Bitcoin's hard cap at 21 million coins, it's a scarce asset that could soak up some of that $35 trillion debt mess if the government plays it smart. Here's my take. Governments buying Bitcoin isn't just a pipe dream anymore. It's a signal. The fiat system's creaking under its own weight, and firms like VanEck's see Bitcoin as a hedge that could actually work. For you watching, this is a chance to front-run the suits. If the Treasury starts stacking sats, demand spikes, and early holders, folks like us, stand to see our stacks grow. Think about it. 1 million coins is nearly 5% of the total supply. That's no small move. Now, could they pull it off without tanking the dollar's credibility? That's the trillion-dollar question we'll unpack another day. Next up, Saylor's at it again. And he's not slowing down. Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy, or Strategy as they're calling it now, dropped news they're planning to raise $2 billion through convertible debt to buy more Bitcoin. Web3 Neil's had this early, and it's racked up retweets like crazy, well over 100. This comes after they grabbed 7,633 coins last week, pushing their stash past 478,000 Bitcoin. At today's prices, that's roughly $50 billion in Bitcoin on their books. Saylor's basically turning the company into a Bitcoin vault with a stock ticker, and the market's eating it up. Their stock's up 565% in the last year. Look, I've said it before, Saylor's playing chess while everyone else is fumbling with checkers. He's leveraging cheap debt to stack Satsi, betting Bitcoin's appreciation outpaces the interest. For you, this is a lesson in capital efficiency. How to use fiat tools to accumulate real value before the music stops. If you've got access to low-rate borrowing, think about how you can mirror this on a smaller scale. Bitcoin's not just a store of value, it's a weapon for outmaneuvering inflation. But here's the kicker. What happens when every CEO starts copying this playbook? Let's jump into a clip from our latest TFTC podcast to dig deeper. Here's Peruvian Bull from our recent episode.
This is what we were talking about in the spaces, ironically, right? Like right after that, and that CNBC article came out saying, like, according to anonymous sources within GameStop, the board is considering direct investments in Bitcoin. The stock price skyrocketed like 20% in after hours, went up to like $32 and change from like 25 before at the height, and then it retraced a bit. And we saw a universal encouragement from the Bitcoin community that this was a smart thing to do.
This ties straight into Saylor's move. Peruvian Bull's talking GameStop here, but the logic's the same. Corporations sitting on cash have a choice. Chase nostalgia with shaky acquisitions or stack Bitcoin and ride its scarcity. MicroStrategy's $2 billion debt raise is the blueprint. Turn idle capital into a hard asset. For you, it's a wake-up call. Companies that don't adapt could get left behind, and your portfolio can learn from this too. Hold BTC, not fading retailers. What's wilder is how this could ripple. Imagine GameStop joining the Bitcoin club next to Saylor. Meanwhile, down in Argentina, President Javier Milei is caught in a crypto firestorm. He tweeted up some altcoin called Dollar Libra, hyping it as a boost for small businesses, and then, poof, it crashed, wiping out billions in value. Bitcoin Magazine's post on this is blowing up, easily clearing 100 retweets. Mainstream outlets like the BBC are saying Milei's team yanked the tweet after the fallout, but the damage was done. Opposition screaming fraud, and there's even talk of impeachment. Classic pump and dump vibes, and the maxi crowd's loving the chaos. Here's where I land on this. It's a textbook reminder why altcoins are a circus. Milei might have thought he was backing innovation, but he stepped into a trap. Centralized coins like Libra are just Fiat 2.0, ripe for manipulation. Bitcoin's different. Its rules are carved in stone. No one's pulling the rug. For you trying to make money, this is your cue. Stick to BTC. Avoid the shiny distractions. Every time an altcoin implodes, it's free marketing for Bitcoin's reliability. Still, Milei's mess could spook regulators into cracking down harder on crypto writ large. How's that going to shake out? Sup, freaks? This rip of TFTC was brought to you by our good friends at BitKey. BitKey makes Bitcoin easy to use and hard to lose. It's the easiest 0 to 1 step, your first step to self-custody. If you have friends and family on the exchanges who haven't moved it off, tell them to pick up a BitKey. Go to bitkey.world, use the key TFTC20 at checkout for 20% off your order. That's bitkey.world, code TFTC20. Let's zoom out a bit. VanEck's proposal isn't just about debt. It's about Bitcoin going from fringe to fixture. If the US government buys in, it's not hard to imagine other nations following. That's a supply squeeze that could send prices to the moon. Great for your stack, but it'd force miners and exchanges to adapt fast. Saylor's $2 billion raise ties into this too. He's betting on that future, where Bitcoin's the backbone of corporate treasuries. I've seen this coming through 1031's lens. Companies we back are already building on that assumption. The Argentina fiasco, though, it's a sideshow. Altcoins flailing while Bitcoin keeps marching. So how do you cash in? First, VanEck's idea means long-term holding's still the move. Don't sell your sats cheap, anticipating a government bid. Second, Saylor's debt play shows you don't need to be a whale to think big. Look at your own leverage options, but don't overextend. Third, Miley's flop is your filter. Dodge the altcoin hype, double down on what's proven. Bitcoin's not perfect, but it's the signal in the noise. Now, could this U.S. Treasury thing actually pass Congress? That's the political wild card we'll dig into next time. One last thought. These stories aren't isolated. Central banks are sweating, corporations are stacking, and altcoins are imploding, all while Bitcoin's hash rate hits new highs. This is the ecosystem telling you where the value's headed. For the educated maxi, it's a roadmap. Stack when you can, learn the game, and don't get burned by the clowns. What's the Fed going to say when they're holding BTC instead of bonds? That's the future we're staring at.